I want to show you how I've got my RX350, Lexus RX350, set up for camping, so for car camping. This works for stealth camping if you're doing it, but I'm actually going to some national parks. So let me just show you here kind of from the get-go. So one thing is, like, you can use this little side thing. I put my tools in here. I thought I was going to take my bike with me, but I guess I'm not going to. Put a little air freshener down there so I can reach that. I'm going to have a flashlight. I'm keeping it here right now to remind me to get the battery on that before I leave. The battery, I'm looking at it, it's charged over here. I've got a cooler here. I'm going to keep this full of food, and I'll probably have to put some sort of a cover on it, but this is a pretty good cooler. And I actually jammed in an extra pair of shoes here to hold this tight so it's not rattling and moving around. Down here I've got my huaraches here for climbing, my adventure ones. I've got a first aid kit. If you could see this, there's a sleeping bag right here, and then I had something else over here. I can't even remember what I put in there. There's something else over there. So just some storage basically up there. Got my tooth oil here. I'll probably fit something else around here so I can keep an eye on that so it doesn't rattle around or fall. Down under here, I have this little power strip, and there's a couple extension cords, so if I need to get any electricity. And then right here, this is a bucket that serves two purposes. One is an emergency potty, so I have some bags in there. And then I've got I couldn't find the bags I wanted, but I put a 1 gallon Ziploc, so if I have to do something crazy in there, I can store that away. There's my hoodie and my hat. I got a couple water bottles, so I still need to bring a couple things out here. And I got my bed set up here. Here's my pillow. I put a pad underneath here. And then this is kind of wonky. I put a piece of cardboard underneath that just because the card lays kind of high back over here. So I'll have to park my car so the top's actually a little lower. I have this brown curtain I bought at a thrift store or something, probably 10 years ago or something. And then I'll clip that on into these handles and then lean it back over the seat so it blocks off all the light from the front. Here's some cardboards that have been cut out. I've had these for years also, and they go into the windows back here, so they effectively shut out all the light from the windows. Down here in this tote, I've got my drone, I've got my Starlink, I've got a book and some other stuff like that. Up here, I've got some camping lights and some gear in there. And then I've got a little sheet, so if I need something just light, if it's kind of warm in here, which I don't think it's going to be this trip, I've got that there. I can see back over here, I have that little pop-up tent. You just unzip that thing and it turns into a little tent. I have my SUV tent. I'm not sure if I should bring that with me or not, but I'm going to bring that just in case I get somewhere and I want to have a space outside of my car. If it's raining or something like that, I don't want to be stranded in my car for forever. Brought an umbrella. So this is a piece of plywood. In another video I show how I hook this up, but this comes across here. Then I have this piece of plywood that's actually attached to a 3x2 right there. So that 3x2, if I can get under here, actually sets into this spot right here, goes all the way across, and it just gives it a ton of strength. So let's go back here and look at that a little bit. So again, here's the bed from the back. Up here I have a flexible solar panel. So this is like a 100-watt solar panel or something like that. Not that big of a deal, but I can use it if I'm parked somewhere for a while to charge up my battery pack. Otherwise, I can charge my battery from the front of the car, from the battery charger or the cigarette lighter. I have all my dishes, some soap, silverware, mugs. stuff like that in here. I've got all my food, all my dry food in here. Mostly it's granola and nuts, and I brought a couple pineapple juices in case I need some quick energy. I've got another sleeping bag here, so I have 2 sleeping bags because it might get cold where I'm going. I brought a rice cooker that I have. I've used this to warm up food and some other stuff. I don't know, I don't think I'll really use that, but I might. Sometimes you just want a warm meal. That'll hook up into my little power supply too. Works good. Got a 5-gallon water here. It's sitting underneath this. You can see I have that little round piece that comes across there, and then this back deck kind of sits on that, and I've shaped it a little bit so it matches the door. But this water, I can just tilt it out, and it has a nozzle on it, so I can just serve water out here if I'm washing dishes or doing something like that. I have a little like a tea kettle thing here, so if I want some herbal tea or whatever I'm drinking, I can heat it up with this, and that also works into my power supply. And then back here, I have a couple platypuses, and if you look in there real careful, there's 2 stainless steel 2-liter bottles full of water. So I've got that. There's a winter coat up in there. Okay, everything's kind of just jammed in pretty tight, so it all holds in space. There's my umbrella. Let's go over here. My car didn't uncharge in the middle of the night. So again, this is the back side of this, camping lights and some camping equipment in here. It's got some hot hands, and I don't know, it's mostly empty actually. Here's my kind of my technical equipment here, so I can work while I'm out here. Down here I've got some rags and some bear spray. Here's this little pop-up tent thing. I have a folding camping chair right there. So here's my little curtain so I can clip it in. And then right here I'll put my backpack here in just a minute. I have a Aero pack and it fits in there just perfectly. And that's got all my clothes and my, kind of my personal hygiene things. So that's pretty much our setup. And I'm excited to take off.